Welcome to Zone In Sports, your favorite spot for real talk, bold takes, and everything in the zone when it comes to sports. From hard-hitting analysis of the Miami Hurricanes football to the hottest stories across the sports world, we're bringing you that energy, passion, and a little bit of swagger, just like the U. So whether you're tailgating in the Coral Gables or arguing in the group chats or just vibing in your way to work, buckle up. You're in the zone with your host, D. Hamp.
What's good, family? Welcome back to Zone in Sports Live. If you're just joining us, buckle up. College football turned upside down with the victories of Miami, Indiana, Ole Miss, and Oregon. Man, Miami handled business. Indiana embarrassed Alabama. The playoffs have officially started. In the back, I got Luke coming up on stage, and we finna get this cracking right away. What up with it, Luke?
What up, Hamp?
Man, we chilling like a villain, man. Check it out, man. We finna hop right up in this, man, and get this cracking, man. We're gonna talk a little bit about, in the first segment, we're gonna talk a little bit about Miami. And we're gonna talk a little bit about the dominance that they displayed the other day. And what was your take on the physicality that they brought to the game?
Like I said before, man, it surprised me. I knew they were good, but I didn't know they were this good. That defense showed me that, not the defense, I'm gonna say both fronts, offensive front and defensive front, proved that they belong in the college playoffs where people didn't think they were supposed to be there.
Right.
I mean, everybody, we had an argument on your pod before about the physicality of the defensive line and the offensive line, and they hadn't played nobody. They showed that they can recruit with anybody and they can play with anybody.
Yeah, it's interesting. When we were talking behind the scenes, even on the last couple of podcasts ago, about the debate when we had Touchdown Jesus, Notre Dame Kevin on here, and he was trying to make the argument that they hadn't played anybody to say that they were physical. And we were trying to explain, Eric and I, that when you watch certain teams, regardless of what conference they play in or not, you can really tell, get a good judge of how physical they are. And some people, when they look at them, they know. They just be like, hey, look, man, that team, that's for real, no matter what conference they're in. So that was the biggest takeaway I got, because, I watched the Hurricanes all season. So I knew, the physicality of the team. And I knew what was going to be up that they brought to the team. Now, that first drive, they really came out and set the tone. And I thought they set the tone all game, especially in the first half.
Yeah.
Just bringing physicality. And even if, I don't know if you've seen the halftime statement Ruben Bain gave, I think they kind of knew as players that Ohio State just they didn't expect what they got from them. Exactly. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. I think that, I didn't expect it. I'm just gonna be honest, man. I thought they were gonna come out and get a feel for them and see where they were headed. But they came out and showed that, one, we here to play, and two, we as physical as you guys in the Big 10 think that you are. So,
right.
They proved their point.
Right. What's up, Dennis? We'll get with y'all in a second out there. Check it out. Now, the defense, when I looked at this defense, now, of course, I watched them all year, but that pressure they put on saying really disrupt what he was trying to do. And a lot of people didn't think, including Ohio State fans, didn't think Bain and Mesidor and that front seven would play as physical as they did. And I think it kind of caught them off guard on the offensive line. It's so much where they had to bench one of their tackles.
Yeah.
They benched them. So it was the pressure that they put on. It was the third down struggles that they had that really kind of set the pace where they couldn't get off the field, and combined with just the tempo of how they slowed the game down, which Miami been doing kind of all year. A lot of fans were kind of upset with them not being explosive. And when you think back, or when I think back personally, you kind of understand where playoff football is compared to regular season football. It's a whole different animal.
Right.
When you look at the teams that's left, they have to be able to run the ball. You have to be able to be physical. A lot of this spread formation just isn't it in playoff football. What's your take on that, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, Miami runs the ball well. Ole Miss runs the ball well. Oregon runs it okay, but there's still that run and shoot offense with a little run mixed in, and Indiana runs the ball well. So I mean, yeah, that's a true statement right there. You got to be able to run the ball. The regular season is a regular season. Yeah, you can get your wins and you can work on some things there, but once you get to that playoff, man, if you ain't got them 7 in the trenches or 9 in the trenches, hey, it's a different ball game.
Yeah, I got a question for the chat out there. Was Miami winning inevitable once they took the lead, or were you a little worried when they coming out the second half once they scored? That's just a question for the chat out there. Now, we already established Miami was the more physical team, and that's not taking anything away from Ohio State. But I'll tell you what, Ohio State was hitting. For the people that watched the game, they was hitting. That defense, that shit, they was bringing it. I mean, hey, I'm going to call a spade. I'm a Hurricane fan, but hey, I give respect to that defense. They were bringing it, but they were the more physical team overall. Is this the biggest win that Miami had since the early 2000s?
I would say yes. I would say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, playoff. See, you get to the semifinals. Yeah.
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 And they had that revenge. They had all their alum on the sidelines, and they kept flashing back to that 2000 bowl.
Yeah.
And I mean, man, payback.
Yeah. I tend to lean that way only because of the how the game was magnified, and how when you think of some of the past teams, leading up, going back a couple of years, they've had big wins that you thought they were going to turn the corner, but they didn't. So this, in all honesty, people talk about last year's team and they did some great things, but this team was way better. I almost got flat because as great as they was offensively, it's as worse as they was defensively last year.
Yeah.
This year, they put it all together. You don't have to be super explosive if you got a hell of a defense. You don't need an all-world quarterback. You just need a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes, that can keep the chains moving. So I think looking at this team and beating Ohio State will be the biggest win in a long time for them. Long time. Did Ohio State get exposed, you think?
I think Ohio State got exposed in the Indiana game. In the Big Ten championship. And I think that Miami went back, watched that game, saw the pressure that Indiana was getting on saying in that, and just kept it going. I mean, one of my buddies at work, he kept saying that Indiana exposed Ohio State in that Big Ten championship, and looked like it held true, man. I mean, they were 12-0 going into that game.
Yeah.
Lost to Indiana, and it seemed like it ain't been right since. I mean,
I'm gonna take a different take on did they get exposed. I'm gonna say to get exposed, I would think like they're not going to win anymore. They at that point in time, we found some weaknesses, but the mark of a good team, whether it be Indiana or Ohio State, and them, I think they know next year what their deficiency was. Kind of like how Miami knew. Anybody followed their program, they knew last year the defense was cheeks. So Mario did everything in his power to make sure he doesn't run that product out there again.
Right.
And I think Ohio State, rather, is going to do the same thing. You won't see a tackle get beat like he got beat this year. So did they get exposed for this game, for the last two games? Yes, but I think exposed overall. I think they got enough talent to where they'll get back to the the dance if the wheels
Yeah.
don't come off. I think they got enough talent that they'll get back. So I look to see them back in the mix again. I look to see, of course, Miami back in the mix again. A lot of these teams that's in here, we
They'll
look
be
to
back.
see them back.
Yeah, they'll be back.
Now, bringing up the Ole Miss battle. Now, Miami strengths against Ole Miss, when I look at it, it goes a couple of different ways. The physical defense, of course, discipline. Now, a lot of people, and I'm going to harp on this for a second, because a lot of people during the season didn't think Miami was disciplined. That, yes, they was getting a lot of penalties, especially when they went on the road. And but they started locking in. So they are if you looked at their last two games in the playoffs, they've been very disciplined. They have had a couple of turnovers before as false starts and those things. They've been rock solid. They've been creating turnovers, interception at the end of both games, matter of fact. So they've been creating turnovers. You got the pick six and the coaching consistency, which I put a video out, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. I told them, put some respect on Mario's name. A lot of people out there don't want to give Mario the respect that's due. And I just made it a point just to say, man, you got to put some respect on his names.
How long has he been the coach there? 4
years?
years?
4 years, yeah.
See, I think you should always give a coach at least 4.
Yeah.
Give him a recruiting class, and then go from there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree. I mean, you have to. I think Ole Miss strengths are they super explosive.
Love they running back.
Yeah, big play capability and aggressive play callings. That's the thing that I noticed with them is that they will take shots down the field.
Yeah.
And they really press the ball. So, and running back, nice. I'll give him that. He's nice too.
Yeah.
Fletcher, nice. He nice. I mean, they both got different
Campbell
styles of running backs, but
Yeah.
they both get the job done. So that the X factor, I think, is can Ole Miss protect their quarterback? And now this is an interesting take, Luke, because I've been listening to the pundits talk about how Chambliss, he a different animal. Miami ain't seen nothing like him. But I harken back. They paid Byron Brum, USF. Everybody probably ain't hip on him out there in the sphere. Stud, he's getting ready to transfer out of there, probably finna go to a big-time school, put up major numbers at USF. They faced Castellanos, which ain't the biggest quarterback, but scrambling quarterback.
Right.
Held them in check. They faced DJ Lagway, Florida, another scrambling quarterback, kept him in check. They faced
you guys play Georgia Tech this year?
No, didn't play Georgia Tech.
King.
No.
I was gonna say that's another quarterback.
Yeah, Haynes King, but he a different type of runner.
He's more of a runner than a passer.
Yeah, he's more of a runner than a scrambling type quarterback. So they've played, and then of course they played old boy from Texas A&M.
Yeah, Reed.
Kept him in check. So I don't think that is going to be something they haven't seen before. I think that they're going to do a good job. Oh, yeah, Virginia Tech quarterback. I forgot about him. Yeah, that they have to, I ain't going to say not to worry about, but it's not something that's going to surprise him. I think Hellerman have a good plan to try to minimize the damage that he does. You know what I'm saying? So on that. And then another thing came, Miami stopped the chunk plays. Like I say, they're aggressive.
Yeah, they really aggressive, man. I mean, I didn't think they was gonna do Georgia like that. I mean, I thought Georgia had an aggressive defense and played them well, but
I think what got Georgia is the familiarity between the two teams.
Yeah, and they played them twice, and they had
I think a lot of that's familiarity and stuff. And be honest with you, people from Georgia might get mad. I don't know if he's gonna tap in today, big Georgia fan, but I've been telling them Miami defense better than Georgia. I just don't, it's better than Georgia. I mean, we just gonna be honest about it. A lot of people, the national media seeing how good they are, but all right, perfect example, Luke. When old boy was with the Cowboys and then he went to Green Bay, he was so dominant with the Cowboys. Shit, it made their whole defense look good.
Oh yeah, Parsons.
Yeah, Michael
Yeah.
Parsons. So when you got guys that could change the dynamics of the game on defense, it makes that whole defense better. They're going to have to allocate so much resources to Bain and Mesidor. That's got to be a game plan from a must for Ole Miss. I think I'm not even going to say Texas A&M didn't believe that they was about that. I'm not going to say that. I know they was talking a lot, and sometimes you can get in front of the camera, talk a lot, but you know, but behind the scenes, it's kind of like, yeah, we're really scheming for these boards because we see the film. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you shouldn't give extra bullet board material. But I just think the more that they've seen it, and the more the national media's seen it, I think they knowing like, okay, yeah, these boys the real deal. So I think they're going to have a game plan to try to slow them down. But I think a lot of teams that had a game plan and still ain't been able to slow the boys down. You know, so I mean, what 12 sacks in 2 games? You know, so I mean that's crazy when you think about that, man. That's just nuts. So,
that is nuts.
You know, and red zone efficiency. So close game, physical game, Miami discipline versus Ole Miss explosiveness. That's kind of what it comes down to a little bit. Can they limit the explosive plays? And can they do what they do? I don't know what kind of game plan either one of them going to come in with, you know, because Ole Miss runs a little bit of how would I describe their offense? Because what tree did their coach come up out of? Lane Kiffin's tree? Because it's
Kiffin or
Kiffin, they still running basically the same offense Kiffin had in. So
they running the same. That the offensive coordinator is going to LSU. So I mean, I think they are the same. I don't know if they are under Saban. Would you say under Saban? I guess.
Yeah. So they're a little bit more spread. They run the RPO. That's what I'm trying to think. Run more of an RPO read option type of stuff. You know, so that's more. And Miami to face that too. You know, and they keep saying, well, not of the caliber they faced Ole Miss, but like I say, a lot of people, even though we rail against Castellanos, he was dangerous. You know.
I think they run the same offense that Texas A&M. A&M ran.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think he's a better passer than the Texas A&M quarterback. You know, but again, he wasn't bad either. But when they on your ass, what you gonna do? you know. Yeah. So I mean, that's just crazy. All right, we're gonna move on before we go to the next topic. Let's say, what's up, guys? Our 2 guys injured in the secondary. Talking about Brown and OJ. We need them for Ole Miss. Yeah, I mean, but that's a point that we'll talk about. That when you get in the playoffs, and this is what Mario talked about, and you heard other people talk about, you need depth.
Yeah.
So get this, when you playing this much physical football week after week now, because you're not in the season where you would sit a guy, whatever. You need this depth. It's hard to have a lot of depth with the NIL and everything, but you need guys that's behind you that can actually that can come in and fill in. So
and I know extra practices too. You get those extra practices that help the lower classmen, you know, build them up a little bit. So I mean, everything helps when you advance in the playoffs.
Yeah. It says Pringle should be able to give a change of pace against the offense. Ole Miss, go Canes. The thing about Pringle, now, I don't know if you was watching the game. Pringle came in to give Fletcher Jr. a spell. Mm-hmm. And the first thing he did, and this is no knock, but it's just being honest, missed the block, Carson Beck gets sacked. And the first thing I yelled, he got to get out the game. You know, the stakes are too high to miss a box. You can see what Jeremiah Smith missed the block on that smoke screen.
Yep.
And my man, and he took it to the house. You know, the stakes are too high to make mistakes. Now, if Pringle get it together, does what he's supposed to do, don't miss blocks or whatever, then he get on the field. But if you're gonna make mistakes, you're not gonna. And if you notice, I don't think he got back on the field after that mistake. If I'm not mistaken, no, matter of fact, he didn't because they put Marty Brown back in. they put him in the game. So that just tells you the magnitude of how things go when you get in the playoffs. You can't afford to beat yourself. You can't afford to miss assignments. Jeremiah Smith, I was thinking about Mr. Block, and then So that's that. Anything you want to expand on that one about Pringle being in the game?
No, I mean, you make a mistake, like you said, you make a mistake, you got to go. It's win or go home, man. You can't can't make a mistake like that. I mean, it's for all the marbles, man.
Right. So, hey, they don't have step. Said, "What up, Dwayne? What up, Luke?" He said, "I'm loving Miami winning in the playoffs. It's great to be a Cane." Hey, yes, it is. So, right. Big Kev, old moderator in the building. He say that's what Alabama gets. Yeah,
he never miss a moment, man. He never miss a moment.
Oh man, look, we finna hop right on into this right now, man. Let's go to talk about it. Indiana. Oh man. All right, your first impressions of the Indiana Bama game. I'm just going to be honest. I thought Bama will pull out a squeaker. And it's no disrespect to you, Indiana people, in case there's some in the building. I don't want y'all to get mad at me or nothing. It wasn't that I didn't think y'all was a good squad. I hadn't seen enough myself personally. This is my opinion. I thought, but in saying that, the only reason I thought y'all would win in the squeaker, they would win in the squeaker, I wasn't sold on Alabama because they couldn't run the ball. And that should have told me everything that I need to know about them, that they would get dominated. I didn't think they would get dominated like that, though. What do you say, Luke?
And not Alabama, Indiana was missing their best defensive tackle.
Yeah.
And they created pressure like that. And me staying in the state of Indiana, you know, I got to hear their mouth all the time. They finally got a team. So, I mean, I thought Alabama was going to pull it out in the end. I just thought Caleb DeBoer's experience of being in the playoff a few years back with Michael Penix in Washington was going to play a factor into it. But like you said, they couldn't run the ball.
Yeah.
We said at the beginning of the show, you got to be able to run the ball to advance, and they couldn't run the ball.
Yeah.
And what was it? A 4th and 1? They decided to run up the middle with a wildcat.
Right.
Up the middle. Makes no sense. You haven't ran the ball up the middle all game, and that's what you're gonna run. You deserve to lose after that bad play calling and not being able to run the ball.
Yeah, put a lot of pressure on Todd Simpson. Hey, Todd tried his best. I give him credit. I mean, he was battling, but they was on him, dog. He said he couldn't do nothing. It says trying to be a national champion with 12 losses.
And you got to think too, when I think he got hurt when he got that fumble too, when he was trying to run that first down and he got hit. I think he got hurt and they just didn't take him out, take him out the game or whatever for some reason. I guess they didn't have faith in the backup, but hey,
I was thoroughly impressed by Indiana. I can tell you that.
Hey, I was too.
I was thoroughly impressed. It's going to be interesting, their next matchup, but because I think Oregon learned a lot from that first game, so it's going to be interesting to see how they play that game. I still think Oregon a little bit more explosive than Indiana, so it's going to be just interesting to see the flow of that game. Now, Oregon playing Texas Tech.
Next.
Next.
That was pathetic, man. In Oregon, think about it. Oregon was going for it on 4th down like it was going out of style. Wasn't taking points. They were going for it, turning the ball over to Texas Tech because they knew Texas Tech couldn't move the ball. And I mean, that should have been a slap in Texas Tech face, to be honest with you. I mean, they just giving you the ball and like, hey, here you go. We know you can't do nothing with it.
Right.
I mean,
hey,
that was.
I never thought about that, but they weren't showing them boys no respect.
No.
I mean, none. They just like, hey, look, y'all can't move the ball. Y'all can't do nothing. Can't put it on their defense. Their defense balled out.
Defense showed up, but I mean,
they should have put that linebacker on offense. Because shit, he was the best.
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Number 31, yeah, you probably would have been better off. I mean,
Yeah, because they couldn't do nothing.
It was like, man, what am I watching? Am I watching?
But you know the crazy thing,
JB?
that game, I told people get mad when you kind of talk about, in all seriousness, about the Big 12, and we were trying to make the statement about BYU, and they say, "Oh, well, you in the ACC and all that," and I just kept trying to tell them. I said, "Texas, even though Miami's in the ACC, they will go out there and schedule tough games. You know, they went out there and played Notre Dame. We didn't know Florida would be down like they was, but on paper at the beginning of the season." Looked like it was going to be a tough game, plus it's an in-state game. You got to get out and play some thumpers, man, to figure out where you really at. And beating BYU twice just wasn't getting it done for me. I know they spent a lot of money in NIL and the transfer portal. Yeah, I know they spent the gang of money. You know, we don't really trip off that on this channel. You know, we want everybody to spend money, get their money right, get their team right. But I think even they learned something this year that they ain't going to let happen. They need more firepower on offense, and you can't be finesse in the playoffs. Again, you got to be able to run the ball. Running 4 or 5 wides doesn't get it done in the playoffs. You got to be able to line up and move somebody. So that's just crazy. Kev say, I need the Canes to put the SEC out of their misery. Hey, we're going to try to, man. Hey,
now you're rooting for the Canes.
Hey, root on, man.
That's my brother, man. That's my brother.
Indiana versus Oregon semifinals. Keys to the game. What do you think? You think Indiana keys, this is what I wrote down: control the tempo, win in the trenches, and stay disciplined. I'm a little Oregon keys I got written down: speed mismatch rather, defensive pressure, and avoid turnovers. I'm gonna go start with the Oregon avoid turnovers, because Dante Moore hasn't looked good. As much as they try to say he looked good, he turned the ball over twice against JMU, didn't he? I think, and then I know he turned. He just. You can't make these mistakes. They've been getting by on a talent road. Their defense. He's got to play better. He's dangerous, but got to play better.
Yeah, he's a good ball player, but he threw he threw for 26 for 33, 230, and 1 interception.
Yeah,
it was Texas Tech that was giving them the ball with 4 turnovers they had.
Yeah,
giving them plus territory, man. It's you can't win when you give the team the ball in plus territory.
No,
you know, and like I said, they were giving them. Oregon was giving them the ball, you know, down at the 2-yard line and 5-yard line or less. I mean, and they drive down the field, fumble, drive down the field, throw interception.
Yeah, the crazy part is that the Oregon defense, it really surprised me because they played better than I seen them play. And I watched them multiple times, all year. They really were being physical. I take my hat off for Oregon. Dan Lanning had them boys ready to play. And I just want to say this about all the teams that was in the last round. All of them was hitting. I mean, I can't think of a game that they wasn't hitting. It was just some teams were more physical than others, you know. Yeah. But all of them were, you could tell they were selling out, you know, regardless. So, but I really was impressed when I saw the Oregon because I hadn't seen that type of physicality from Oregon all year, personally as a team. You know, I think people still describe them as finesse, but I think they learned a lot again from last year playing Ohio State when they got the brakes beat off of them in the playoffs, and they understood you got to come in to beat. This tournament is not made for the weak. You know, once you get in there, these guys are playing all out, you know, so speed mismatch.
I think the speed goes to Oregon.
Yeah.
It goes to Oregon.
It's just, will they be able to use it? That's the question.
Yeah. See, they did in that first game, but I think they took Indiana lightly. Like everybody did. Oh, it's Indiana.
Right.
They gonna do what they do. And Indiana showed up, and I mean, they were playing at home too.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
I mean, so Indiana came to.
There was a little weather in that game too. What, when a little rain or something?
Yeah, a little rain.
Yeah.
And Indiana came to win. And if Oregon don't put their big boy pants on and actually playing like a real team this year, they're gonna be out of the playoffs, and Indiana gonna be in the finals.
Yeah. And Indiana, they need to control the tempo. I know, like I said, they got to understand, and I think they will. I think Signetti will have those guys understanding that this is not going to be the same Oregon team that you faced earlier in the season.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's going to be on there, and he's got to win in the trenches, and it's going to be a dogfight. I fully expect that game to be a dogfight. I don't know which way I'm leaning on that game yet, but I think it's going to be a dogfight. You know, it's only one number 1 seed left in the tournament, and that is Indiana.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's impressive. They're the only team now that have won with a week off. So, I mean, it says a lot about Indiana. You know, everybody else that went down.
Yeah.
So
they were the first team to do it too. So I mean,
they're the first team to do it. I mean, that team there is sick. Now they got those boys playing, man. But Indiana wants revenge. I mean, Oregon wants revenge. So, and I guess Indiana looks at it more like, hey, we're going to beat them to show that we are who we say we are. So
yeah, it ain't a 2-year thing. We're gonna make this run a long time.
Yeah. So, hey, put it in the chat. Who y'all think gonna win this game, Indiana or Oregon? Because it'll be interesting to see what the chat thinks out on that. Just because I mean, I don't know. And we haven't even talked about from the Ole Miss perspective. When I'm looking at this is that I watched a lot of them this year. They didn't score big points. Ole Miss have. Well, Oregon has scored big points too. Got IMAX coming in saying Indiana. They starting to come in. So, who you think gonna win the game, Luke?
I think Indiana gonna win.
I
honestly do. Me living here and watching the sports all this year, Indiana had a good sports run the past 2 years. The Pacers, the Fever, I don't even know what else, but yeah, they didn't have Indiana last year. Yeah. I mean, they didn't have a nice little run this year, and they seem like a team of destiny right now. I mean, to be honest with you,
yeah, and they look strong.
They look good on defense. They look good on offense. All three phases are working for them. Coaching, man, Indiana's gonna. I think Indiana gonna win this one. It's gonna be by 10. I'll say. By 10.
Man, you thinking they're gonna go out by 10?
Yeah, I say by 10.
You know, look. My heart's telling me Indiana, but I think I'm gonna roll Oregon, man. And I'm gonna tell you why. When I look at Oregon, I know they're a little young at the running back position. They got 2 freshmen that they roll in, plus they got the upperclassmen that they roll in. Dante hasn't looked consistent. But if Dante learns what Carson Beck learned, is that don't try to make the big play, just get positive yards. Mm-hmm. Don't put the ball at risk. So what I mean by that is that, okay, instead of trying to push that down and go a double coverage, take off and get 2 or 3 yards and go down. Keep the chains moving. If Dan Lanning can get him on that page, because Indiana flies on defense, you know, so he got to understand that it's only his natural talent is not going to get it done. You got to be able to live to fight another day. I think defensively they're going to be rock solid, Oregon. I think they're going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. And I think Dan Lanning, I watched him a long time. He get his boys up for some big games. And I just think some way, somehow, they're going to find a way to eke out a close one. Now, like I say, I wouldn't be mad if Indiana won. I wouldn't be mad if Oregon won. I mean, that's not my focus. I'm just saying. So, hey, so if you're out there for Indiana, don't come for me. I like you guys, man. I respect your coach. I don't know why they show your coach more than they show your team on the sidelines. I don't get that, because every time they pan on the TV, they show the coach. I'm like, what the hell? Shit.
Hey, I like the coach. I like him being fiery. I like the coach, and he get him ready to play, man. I mean,
yeah. Oh, they ready. Like I say, Indiana ready, boy. I like them a lot. I like them. I like, the funny part, I like all the coaches. Well, I don't know a lot about the Ole Miss coach, just to be honest, the intern. But I mean, Mario, fiery guy, you heard his statement before, he said physicality and violence. That's what he said. He told the reporter that physicality and violence. So these guys know what it takes. I don't think any of them, even if we go back and listen to Ryan Days when he was talking about trenches and physical, they all know physicality wins in this game. And I just think that all of them will be ready to play. It's just really going to come down to who executes more. I don't really see anybody getting blown out unless it's a bunch of turnovers or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And one turnover could turn the whole game, even like in the Ohio State game. If, I still think Miami would have won, but, that was just huge, against to have that interception, that was huge.
It changed the game.
Yeah, it was big time play by Keontae rather. And you like I said, when you just look at it overall, and I think Miami gonna beat Ole Miss. I really do. I think that they've seen these running quarterbacks before. Now I will say Chandler's looks really accurate. He's a strong guy. He's physical in the pocket. But even in saying that, Lute, I'll just go back to what I say. You look good when you ain't seen this type of pressure before. Right. And that's what I break it down to when I look into some of these playoff games is, has he seen what he's getting ready to see? You know what I'm saying?
Because that's what happened. That's what happened to Sayin. Sayin hadn't seen that, and when he saw it, he saw it.
Yeah. Even old boy from Texas A&M, he was real confident because he thought that and I'm pretty sure the Texas A&M game, he thought he can get rid of the ball early, like all the rest of them. I'm pretty sure they want to do quick passes, get the ball out their hands, things like that. And I understand that, but it's different when they get in the game because you know what? Saying get the ball out you early, pick six, Keontae Scott. You know what I'm saying? These guys coach up. I'm saying it was great film study. So they're going to be ready for the quick game. I don't think they're going to rush as hard as they rush. They're probably going to play it more like Texas A&M, not come super hard, or they might bring a guy off the edge every now and then to dictate which way he can run, bring a guy backside, force him to bang, So they're going to have a spy on them. They did that a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see, Ole Miss defense. Everybody said they played well. I can't say you played well and you gave up 30 points. I don't know where people get this Ole Miss defense played well. Was they hidden? Yes. But did they play well? No. And they say, well, Georgia, they high power. Georgia not high powered. If we'd have played Georgia, we'd have kicked them in the ass. They wouldn't have scored 30-some points because Miami ain't giving up 30 points.
Right.
They give up a lot of yardage and a lot of points. Ole Miss. That's going to be my concern with Oregon too. So it's going to be interesting. Ole Miss receivers can make contested catches. Yeah, they can. They big and they physical.
Ohio State's good too.
Yeah, I'm finna say, can't be no bigger. Hey, you can't tell me they receiving core better than Ohio State with Tate and Jeremiah.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, they always had good game plans, I would say, for these receivers. That's because they can get pressure. So when you can get pressure, you can help your secondary out big time. So, and that's going to be the key for everything. I think in the Oregon game, it's essential that they try to limit Mendoza and try to, it's kind of funky how he runs. He kind of get kind of low and ducks down and do this little thing coming through the line. So
Indiana got like them 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
And 6'3", 6'4" receivers too. So
yeah,
I mean, that's gonna be huge for them because I think Ole Miss got, or is it Ole Miss they playing? No, not Ole Miss.
They playing Oregon.
Oregon got smaller D-backs.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I interesting matchup. I don't know. Like I say, I think in Oregon, especially in the Oregon game, and they got a freshman going at corner for Oregon too. But
Yeah.
I think he had a couple of picks, didn't he? I know he had a pick
I know he
last
had a
game.
pick and he had a fumble for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I
So
mean, yeah. So like I said,
he's 6'2".
it's beautiful just seeing just the young guys play. You
Yeah.
know, just seeing that the young guys getting out there making plays. And you know, of course, Miami got some freshmen going. You got Oregon got some freshmen going. You got, I mean, it's just ridiculous. You got JUCO quarterback playing for Ole Miss. You know, you got,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it's just crazy how it's going. You got Mendoza that Miami kicked his teeth in when he was at Cal last year. So I know the Cal people get mad about that.
And they saying that what the number one pick, man, might be Mendoza, it might be more. And now they didn't threw this Chambliss into the daggone mix.
I don't think all of them. I don't think none of them going number one.
Nah, I don't think so either. But
and that's another debate, but I'll touch on it quick. And the reason why I don't think any of them going another, I don't think any of them. This quarterback draft is weaker than last year's quarterback draft to me.
Who's in last year's draft? I don't even
Cam, Shador, Jackson Dart, yours, those boys.
Yeah.
I don't think any of these guys better than those guys. I mean, no, really. Well, when you think, Chet, you think any of these guys coming out this year is better than any of those guys that came out last year? You know, I don't see it. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, Mendoza to me plays in a really good system. I like him. I think, and people get mad. It's nothing wrong with being a great college quarterback. You know, it's nothing. People could be great quarterbacks. You know, I think Pavia is a great college quarterback. I don't know how to translate into the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't know. You know, I'm not really sure. You know, but you've seen some of the guys come out last year at the physical tools, big arms, you know, improv, stuff like that. Mendoza can do some of those things. So, but it'll just be interesting to see what he do on the next level. But in saying that, I don't think he'll be first. If he go first, I would be shocked.
It depends on who get the first pick. If it's the Raiders, he might go. They need a quarterback bad. The Giants, they got Dart. They'd be good.
Yeah.
But if they let them sit.
He said, none of these dudes in this year's draft or next year's draft could touch Cam Ward. That's right. I don't think they could touch Shador either. Shoot, that's my point.
Should have been no 5th round pick, but that's a whole nother story.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think none of these guys can. You know, that's why I'm saying that. I think, well, I don't know who would be number one. I mean, who drafted number one. It won't, I mean, the Giants, they already said a quarterback.
That's why I said if it's the Raiders, there's no telling. You know, you got Tom Brady running that organization right now. So
I don't know, man. I think to me, to take a guy first pick overall, you got to make sure you're a franchise. And I don't think any of these guys come out that you would say is a franchise quarterback.
Nah.
So in that case, you might want to see if you could trade and get somebody and then get you a big time lineman, get you a big time tackle, pass rusher or something like that. So, you know, I don't know.
You got a few of them coming out this year.
Right. He said, why did they put the freshman on Smith by the end zone? On what play there, Donovan? Devon, I'm sorry. You know what play you talking about there, Luke?
Is that the one towards the end of the game? Where when they scored in the 4th? Is that the one he's talking about?
Is that the one where they threw the flag on? Yeah, that's what he's talking about. And I'm still trying to figure out where the flag was at because they never showed the whole play. They said it was a holding call or something.
Was it when he coming off the line?
They never really showed where because all I seen them break across the middle, and I'm like, well, hell, and then the flag came out. But yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know why, and I think they might have put him on him. They was doing some type of bracket coverage on Jeremiah that the whole game. Yeah, number 16, he fell down. Yeah, but they had threw a flag on it, and I still couldn't see what a hold was or whatever the hell they called, because maybe he held him when he was falling. Hell, I don't know. I have to go back and relook at it. So.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I don't know why they did that. I'm thinking they wasn't in man. I don't think in that set, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I know that didn't one of the quarterbacks get hurt in that game. Man, I have to go back and look at the game again. I already watched it 3 times and shit. I already watched the game 3 times. Well, yeah, my memory ain't what it used to be. So, I got so much stuff in my head. But yeah, anyway, getting back to what we were saying on that. But yeah, I don't think OJ got hurt. Thank you there. Yeah, OJ got hurt. OJ Federic. And that hurt them bad. So, but again, you give Heatherman a whole week to prepare. They're gonna come up with something against OJ because I'm pretty sure he's not playing from what I heard. Didn't somebody say he was on crutches or something, if I'm not mistaken? But yeah, but that's gonna be interesting. The whole with the quarterback thing with Mendoza going up against Moore. I think Mendoza probably he's more sounding than Moore. Moore takes more risk and tends to turn the ball over a little bit more. Yeah, he has to really play discipline to give them a shot. Because if he turns the ball over, Indy gonna run him out the game. But and the only reason I say that is, and the reason I'm giving Moore grace is because this the same narrative they was trying to paint with Carson Beck. Remember, everybody kept trying to say, well, he's known to turn the ball over, no turn, and then he comes in and plays a clean game. So Moore, if he comes in and locks in like he needs to and don't turn the ball over, then, hey, it's going to be – he's going to be okay. He'll give his team the best chance to win. He says everything quiet across CFP. Haven't seen anything like this since 1993 and 2003. Yeah. Yeah. Look, what was the big debate on one of the shows today? Is that the SEC dead and all this stuff? And I don't know if you've seen that debate and all that crap. And I think people knew I know we're getting a little bit off subject and we'll dive back on, but when they first brought up the NIL and how it was going to make it more competitive, the only people really was bitching was the SEC. The SEC rather. They the only people was bitching because they knew that they couldn't stack 5 stars on the line and other teams can pay and get these guys. So to me, it's great for football. It's great to see teams be able to get big-time quarterbacks and be able to go out there and say, you know what, you a 5-star sitting on this bench over here, or a 4-star, or you're a guy with skill. I don't even care about stars, but we know you could play. Hey, come on over here. We'll give you $150,000. Come on over here, rock with us, or whatever, Talking about alignment, you guys. I ain't talking about quarterbacks because it's only a handful of quarterbacks getting the max, getting those meal, getting the 4 meal. Most of these guys, they ain't getting that, So I think it's great, and did it hurt the SEC? No, I ain't going to say per se, because certain people still want to go to Alabama. Certain people still going to want to go to Georgia, LSU. It's going to be more parity. But parity to what extent? Because, all right, we'll say this. You know what happened with the guys in the chat? Let me know, what's the receiver that just signed with Syracuse, the freshman? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But they paid him a little bit of money. Somebody put it in the chat for him to go there. He just signed there out of high school. And but they need way more help than him. Now, I know they did get the quarterback from Notre Dame last year, and he broke his leg or whatever happened. So and they probably going to try to get a couple more linemen to try to beef them up. But it takes more than just one person. So just getting one person in the NIL and paying them a gang of money doesn't guarantee success. If you like a Syracuse or a Pitt or whatever, you got to be able still to recruit really, really good talent and still got to have a person to lock them in. Well, what do you think about that, Luke?
Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, the NIL, unless you Missouri or somebody giving away money to a quarterback who can't throw, I mean, it's big, man. I mean, the SEC can't just stack up on receivers, running backs, defensive line, linebackers like they used to. Georgia can't, Alabama can't, LSU can't. You see what happened to LSU with Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a perfect example right there. They spent all that money on NIL and they still couldn't.
Not Chip Kelly.
Not Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly, yeah.
Brian
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Chip Kelly. Brian Kelly. I mean,
yeah. Ohio State should have kept Chip Kelly. Go ahead.
He at Northwestern now. I mean,
yeah.
That's how far he done fell off.
Right.
It's. I like it. I like it for college football. I just wish they'd put a cap on it.
Yeah.
On the NIL. If they put a cap on the NIL, I think it'd be a lot better.
But man, they always going to have a way around. Look, we talked about it time and time again.
Yeah.
Texas schools got big money. They're going to find a way around them caps. Some of these schools get so much money, they find a way around these caps, whether it's through commercials. Hey, look, we're going to give you the cap, but we still going to make sure you're going to get a meal or two in endorsements or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to find a way to get their money, you know, around the cap. That's the crazy part about it. No matter what rules they come up with, you got big time boosters in them, what you need. That's the biggest thing, is that some of these schools don't have the boosters, or some of these schools are not as invested in the programs. That's going to be the interesting thing. And I know we're going still off topic, is what's going to happen with your boy at Virginia Tech. Is they're going to give him all the money, James Franklin, that he need to turn Virginia Tech back around. So it really depends on, is these universities, how invested they are in their football program. Miami went through the same thing before Mario went there, and that was one of the reasons he took the job, because they opened up the pocketbook to him, you know, and allowed him to go out and do what he do. You know, a hell of a recruiter. I say the best recruiter in the country. You know, some people can argue that, but you know, it's you know, you see Calvin Russell. That's what I'm thinking about. Calvin Russell was the one that went to Syracuse.
I just looking them up.
Yeah, and they threw a bag at him, you know. And you think now, would that be a good pick for him? Maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how much Syracuse actually gave him, because I think I read a report, but I can't remember it. It's been so many months ago. I know they threw a nice size bag at him and made him go. Not mad at him at all. Mario does his a little bit different. Some people don't agree with it. Mario invests heavily in the trenches, heavily, because and he kind of has my mentality, kind of like a lot of people don't agree, is look, I can build you a line. They're going to blow holes. If you a 4-star, you look like a 5-star. If you're a 3-star, you're going to look like a 4-star. With the hose my guys can blow, you're gonna be okay. If you're a quarterback, you ain't going to get touched. Just come over and do what you do behind this big offensive line. So your skill positions, you know, I know a lot of people was chanting Jeremiah Smith, come home. They're not going to pay him all that money to come back. You know, and maybe I could be wrong. Maybe they would. Maybe they would open up the pocketbook for him to come back. I just don't. First of all, I don't think he's going to leave Ohio State. So he's only going to play one more year and go to the league, you know, because he'll be a first-round pick for sure, you know, barring injury. You know, I mean, you think?
Yeah, he's going to be a first-round pick.
Yeah.
He's too good. He's too good not to be.
Yeah, he might be the first overall pick, right. You know. So
man, go to the right team. Hey.
Yeah, you know, I think he's gonna be so good, won't nobody pass him over. You know, I don't think that's just one of those talents that I don't think you can just pay unless somebody really ball out next year or somebody really needs a quarterback. Arch Manning Arch Manning started doing better. Now, Arch Manning came on at the end of the year, didn't look bad at all.
In the bowl game, no, he didn't look bad.
Whole different, subject. But yeah, I mean, he comes on, he balls out. I see him fully going. So I don't see him leaving Ohio State, pipe dream. In my opinion. Now, I could be wrong tomorrow. I could pick up the newspaper. Well, people don't read newspapers no more, but I digress. And see that he's coming home. But in the meantime, I don't see it. He said, I'll see it $50 to Notre Dame to help get your Kevin, you gonna send $50? You gonna send more? You gonna need more than $50.
Start GoFundMe, Kev.
Notre Dame gonna have to come up with about $6 million to get him.
Right.
I mean, he probably make it about $4 million now. So you probably gonna need about $6 million. If I'm thinking. But yeah, you got them big time guys like that. I mean, it's just great for college football just to see how it's going. And to me, and this going to go into the next segment that we're talking about, like guys like Dabo and them, they gotta adapt. Name recognition alone is not enough to keep you at a school.
Yeah, not no more.
That's the problem. I think the hardest problem that they having at the Bamas and the Georgias and them that they identify so much with the logo. In the younger generation, I don't call them kids, I call them young men. They think about it totally different. Matter of fact, Big was in the chat. He'd have been on several recruiting trips with his cousin. I don't know if that's your cousin or your nephew, Big Kev. Put it in the chat. But he knows fully well. He's been on recruiting trips to Wisconsin. He's been on recruiting trips to La Tech. And he knows kind of what the younger folks think on some of these situations and some of the intricate plot, things that go into some of these recruiting that it's not one for one. So, oh yeah, cousin, that's right. So yeah, it's a lot that played into it. So what do you say, Luke?
Yeah, I think it ain't about the name no more. It's about what you can pay me. Am I gonna get on the field?
Yeah.
And what can I do? What can you do for me to help you? And then that's just for 1 year. That's not even a 2-year, 3-year deal. That's just for the 1 year. Because a lot of these players are coming in 1 year and then, hey, I need to renegotiate my contract. The quarterback that was at Tennessee that went to UCLA, Avilava, whatever.
Yeah.
Lava, whatever his name was.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 1 year, and okay, now what we gonna do this year? I think that 5-star wide receiver I was just reading this morning, that 5-star wide receiver from Alabama just transferred again. I think or whatever his name is. He's transferring. He didn't hit the transfer portal.
There's a couple of them. Hey guys in the chat, I think one of them was at Miami last year, the year before last. He got in the portal.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's crazy, man. It's like, but again, I think I always see this too, and I think Kevin can contest to this. A lot of guys that probably play. I don't know if any of the people in the chat play college ball or whatnot. Does it make a difference? Hell, if you play high school ball now, guys transferring.
Yeah.
So it don't even make a difference. And that wasn't like it was back in the day. You got guys now that go from one school to another school. So it doesn't make a difference anymore. It's like being loyal to a school. That's why it's so important that you do have a coach that can kind of lock you in and just be honest with you. If you honest with a lot of players, and a lot of time, a lot of players respect it more when a coach come to them and say, hey, you might want to get in the portal because, you probably it ain't gonna work out here. Our room might be too stacked for you. Now you can't be kind of like Dion was, kind of like blasting it up, like, hey, blah, 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 but if you have an honest conversation or a genuine conversation with a young man, hey, look, it ain't gonna work out here. I think they can respect you for that, It still might be some hard feelings, but It's the nature of the business. I think now it's a whole different argument when you got some of these guys, and I know Miami had some guys that hit the portal that that I think that we thought that probably shouldn't have been in the portal. That shouldn't have went in the portal. But that's just the nature of the beast, and some of them gonna make the right decision. Some of them, you just bless them all and hope it works out for them. Now, like I said, the other day, I read a report when the portal opened up, it was over 4,000 kids. I think in all Division I sports and FCS that hit the portal. Over 4,000 kids hit the portal. That's crazy. That when you think about that, and I'm thinking that's all sports, that's allowed to hit the portal. And when you think about that, man, that's a lot of kids, and not all of them going to find good destinations.
Yeah, and some of them might be doing it for family reasons. There's no telling why they're doing it. But I mean, if they got it, I ain't gonna tell them not to take the bag, but hey, take it.
Hey, look, it's a short. You could blow everything, blow something else, knee out or whatever, man. Get that money. He said another reason why Miami will continue to dominate next season, the roster would go from 85 scholarships to 105. Yep. That would be extra 15 extra players that would have went out of state now could stay at home. Yeah. Now the question is, and I agree with that statement. I do know that to be true, is that when you still getting bidding wars, that's the problem, and that's the tricky part. And when you start dealing with, because let's be honest, even when you're a 3-star, you think you in your mind, somebody telling you a 5-star. You know what I'm saying? Somebody telling you, look, hey, look, man, I know Miami, you a 3-star, whatever. Miami, they underpaying you. You come here, we're gonna pay you more.
Hey, Ham, is Florida like Missouri, where if you stay in state and go to college there, you can make your NIL money in high school?
I'm not sure. Somebody put it in chat. If you are in state,
and I know Missouri has that, and Missouri started that a couple of years back.
So if you stay in state, and you in high school, you could make your NIL money.
Because I know
repeat that again. Ask the chat that.
Because I know in Missouri that if you're in high school and you commit to Missouri.
So if you commit to all right. So this is the question, chat. So if a Florida player plays in Florida and commits to a Florida college, does he get to keep?
Does he get the NIL money while he's still in high school?
Does he get the NIL money while he's still in high school?
Because that's what Missouri did with Luther Burton a couple of years ago. That's how and it was a couple of other players that did that, was in Missouri, committed to Missouri, and they paid them the NIL money while they were still in high school.
Okay. So, all right. So the question is Florida. Anybody at Florida, if a high school student is getting paid and he goes to a Florida school, does he get to keep the high school NIL money?
While he's in high school.
While he's in high school. So if he commits in high school to a Florida school, does he get to keep that money? That's interesting. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, because I seen that before, and I was just always wondered, were other states starting to do that, or
right? As a matter of fact, in any state, if you're in a different state and it applicable to you, put it in the chat. I don't care where you're from. Let us know how your state does it.
Because that'd be a way to start keeping players too.
Right.
Getting out your.
What's up, 850? 850, Hey, what up, man? Hey, if you are Florida high schooler. Yeah, K's up, nose down. Yeah, that's 850K. Hey, if you're a Florida high schooler and you go to and you commit to a Florida university, any school in Florida, do you get to keep your NIL money while you're in high school? All right. Like say somebody put it in there.
Yeah, because it says Missouri and it allows high school athletes who commit to the public Missouri University and sign NIL deals profit before enrolling. So they keep their money. They get money while they're in high school.
I say he don't have a clue. We don't know. Well, 'cause the crazy part, isn't it a guy? I'm trying to think who was just. I don't know. That's interesting. I have to figure out the answer to that, or somebody will let us know before the live is off. They said DJ Lagway has visited Florida State. Hey, more power to him. He'll get his head beat in there too. So, hey, he can go over there. He says Missouri had it was that Brady Cook getting money from Sugar Fire. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Look, that's really a incentive to stay home. I was trying to think. Wait a minute. So the QB from Nico from Tennessee, he was getting paid in high school, right? Yeah, he was getting. Remember, he had a big NIL package in high school, but I don't know what school he came out of. Was he a California kid?
He was a California kid. That's why he went back to California, because he actually committed to UCLA first, and then Tennessee gave him that big money, and he went to, what was he making, like $2 million, $3 million at Tennessee, and then wanted $6 million.
Yeah,
like he was a star or something.
Yeah, so that's interesting because that would be a really big incentive to stay home if you're getting paid but then you worry about, well, I guess if you flip your commitment, you got to pay that money back.
Yeah, because you got that guy from Missouri that's getting sued by Georgia because he took that money, and decommitted and went to Missouri and didn't pay that money back. So they want that $30,000 back that they gave him up front.
Hey, he should give it back too. Hey, look, that's one thing that we'll tell these young kids. Hey, if you sign or something, you got to honor your agreement. Now, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. So, that's crazy. No,
I didn't mean to get you off track with that, Hemp.
Huh?
I said I didn't mean to get you off track with that.
That's okay. It said the Orangemen need a quarterback.
When they talked about that, and I was like, I wonder if they can keep their.
Hey, that's an interesting question. I'm about to look it up, man, and figure out. Somebody will figure it out for me. No, the Orangemen needed a quarterback before their quarterback got hurt. He was blowing Clemson out. Yeah, I know. That's the quarterback that came from Notre Dame. So, yeah, that's what's his name? Angeli, right? Yeah. Angelini or Angeli or something like that was his name, the quarterback from Notre Dame. He was actually balling when he went over to Syracuse. Yeah. Yeah, he was balling. So, yeah. They say anybody who think Miami was physical, who didn't think Miami was physical, you don't know anything about football. How can touchdown Jesus say, he say, how can touchdown Jesus say Miami wasn't physical when Miami physically dominated his team, Notre Dame? Boy, Kim, you catch it strange. You ain't even on the shot. You ain't even on the show. What's that, Storm Water? But hey, Storm Warner, he ain't on the show, but he in the chat. He said, hey, Kevin said, he said, Larry got us pulling out law books. Hey, we got to figure that out. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget too, because my memory ain't that long, and I need to check on that. I'll make a couple of phone calls and figure that out. That was interesting. Kevin said his team wasn't dominated. He said my team was never dominated, was never a dominant line. Oh, okay. He said his old line wasn't dominant anyway. But yeah, so we're gonna get back into this. I know we got way off topic, but we're gonna wrap this up. It says so that put in a nutshell, you got one seed left in a tournament. So overall, I thought it turned out to be excellent. I'm not into expanding anymore. I know a lot of people think we should expand. I'm still of the mindset that you only have a handful of teams that can win it every year when you really think realistically. Now, we're going to discount what the pundits say. And people forget, even when they have the argument about Miami, Miami got all the way as high as number 2 in the nation in rankings. Miami was ranked number 2 in the nation at one point before they fell. So they were always considered a really good team. They just stumbled. The interesting part is, it's like, I agree with you and what Bikev said and what a lot of other people say, that rankings probably shouldn't come out at the beginning of the season.
Come out in November.
Yeah, because I think that's hurting some teams that do stumble. You know, they got to do so much work just to make it up. You got to take a team's whole body of work. You know, I mean, just be honest with you. You know, and they trying to discredit a lot of stuff. You know, and whether a team wins early in the season or if a team loses middle season, now he's a bad team because he lost a game in the middle of the season, and you lose a game late in the season, that's bad. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not taking in the whole body of work of each team. So what do you say about that?
Don't expand. If they do expand, I think your 1 and 2 seeds should get to bye. Everybody else should have to play or do a play-in or something. Just don't expand to what were they talking about? 16 now?
Yeah, 16.
16. Don't expand to 16 because then you're gonna want 18 and then you're gonna want 20.
Right.
You're gonna always have a team that's gonna be left out.
Right.
If Texas wanted to make the playoff, they should have stayed in the Big 12. They would have been in there.
True. They the one went for the money, right?
Yeah, they the one went for the money. Oklahoma went for the money. If you wanted to get in the playoffs, stay in the Big 12 where you was gonna win it every year and you'd have been in.
Right.
Plain and simple. But nah, I don't want them to expand. If you're gonna do it, give the 1 and 2 seeds a bye and let everybody else go at it. I don't care what you do, but
yeah, I don't see them. I don't think they should expand. I think it's just when you do that, you just get more money. I know people saying bowl games are dead, but I'm here to say and put it on writing. You can clip this or do whatever you want. Make these teams that sign these NIL contracts to these young men, make them play in these bowl games, or strip them of that game pay.
Yeah.
If you're not going to play in a bowl game and we're playing you NIL money, you're going to lose a game check for that game.
Yep.
If you get NIL money, there's
no way. I think you should hold them to it anyway. I mean, even if they want to transfer, hey man, you didn't sign this NIL. Hey, ain't no bagging out. You signed a contract.
Yeah, it's going to come to that anyway. But there's no way that you can. So let's just be honest about it. They can keep it all the way funky. Some of these guys sitting out ain't even going to NFL. Ain't getting drafted, and they talking. I seen a guy. I don't even know what game it was. What game was that? Wasn't Kennesaw? It was some guy. He's sitting out. I'm like, what the hell? He's sitting out for? Talking about the combines. I'm like, some of these guys. I know they got people in their ear telling them, "Yeah, you sit out because of the Look, man.
Yeah, it's not worth it, man.
It's like, this is your last chance to shine against good talent. If you had everybody playing, that's why I respected Pavia and some of these other guys that went out there and played, because they could have sat out. They didn't have to play. Pavia and them boys is out there balling. I'm pretty sure people got to look, and they got you. If you like them, you like them. If an NL scout likes them, they like them. He didn't have to play that game to change minds. Right. So it's just weird that you just have these kids sitting out, and it's nothing. And I get if some of them going in the portal and some of that, the first, I get all that. But again, like you say, I'm already paying you money. I don't care if you're going in the portal now. You're still on an NIL contract.
Yep.
So play the game. I mean, we done put so much to. And I'm all for players getting every nickel they can get. Don't get me wrong. Get every penny you can get as an athlete. But at what point do you have any respect for the game? Don't buy into the media telling y'all bowl games don't mean nothing. That I don't understand how that even became. Some pundits start telling guys that, and then they start broadcasted it on ESPN and then all this stuff. And then everybody saying all bowl games don't mean nothing. Then you have that crap that went on with Florida State, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago, however many years. Yeah. When all they damn players set out and they ain't been right since. And now you got this crap with Notre Dame.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. And then you going to come tell us as fans or even Notre Dame fans that, hey, yeah, man, we had a meeting and we decided as a team that we didn't. Bullshit. you ain't talk to everybody on the damn team and say, and they all, I'm a 5th-year senior and I ain't never playing football again. And I'm like, yeah, I don't even want to play in this bowl game. Come on, man.
Yep. Depriving people of their last game, man. It's terrible.
Man, y'all hit that like button. They done got me mad out here. Hit that like button. If y'all ever subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, because it makes me mad, man, when these young folks, man, they get steered the wrong ways, man. And it's like people getting their ear, man, and then they start playing these kids, man. And then you missing opportunities in life.
And that one game might have made that guy.
Kevin said they asked him. He said, "Don't go. You don't play."
He opted out as a fan. That's all that was. He opted out as a fan not to go. But no, man, you get them. That could have took that kid from a 5th round pick to a 3rd rounder. That's money.
That's money.
That's money that kid missing out. I mean, the combine, yeah, but just because you ran a fast 40 don't mean you're going to get drafted in the 1st round. They look at game.
And you can't even use the excuse anymore, or these players can't use the excuse, because I guarantee you if they was in, or because they used to use the excuse he might get hurt.
Yeah.
Right? Remember they used to use that. But if you in the college football championship, now you want to play. You ain't sitting out then. Oh, well, we got something to play for. Then you validate our point. You can get hurt regardless. If you're going to go to the league, you're going to go regardless. Now, your stock might fall a little bit if you get hurt, but they still going to look at you. It might take you from a 1st rounder to a 2nd or 3rd. You still going to go. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's my whole thing with the sitting out and all of that stuff. I just think they do these kids a disservice. Whoever's in their ear telling them, or their agents or whoever telling them, hey, well, you need to sit out and protect your interests, when it's only so many NFL positions. And if you got all these kids sitting out of bowl games that when you hear some of the names sitting out, you like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. Then you go look at their stats and you like, man, wait a second. You don't deserve to sit out. I mean, I ain't gonna say you don't deserve to sit out, but your stats and you saying that you sitting out, it ain't matching up, or your game film ain't matching up to you sitting out.
Yeah, man. It's frustrating. What up, DP?
Cost of money, man. Cost of money.
Right. It's crazy. K's 34, Ole Miss 20. Okay. Yeah, it's frustrating. And like I said, I don't know how they feel in the chat about this, man. Y'all can put it in. I said, do you think, this is the question. Now that players are getting NIL money, should they be required to play in the bowl game and have their game check stripped of that bowl game? That's just the question, because they need to come up with something. Don't buy into this bowl game. Don't mean nothing. You getting paid. Hell, I don't want to go to work tomorrow. The work don't mean nothing to me really right now. but I know if I don't go, I ain't gonna get paid.
I don't want to go to work, but hey, I got bills to pay.
Right. He says, I know it. Okay, so he said in California they do that. So I think that's what Nico. Well, hell.
See, yeah, that's what I think that's what Nico did, and then because he was going to UCLA, and then he ended up going to. So I wonder if they made him pay that money back.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. That's an interesting question. Like I say, yeah, it'd be interesting. Like I say, I'm gonna dive into that to see like how many states that actually abide by that. But yeah, so That's my whole take on the NIL money. You know, we all for kids getting their money. We ain't never gets nobody not getting money. I just think that it's been a shift. And I'm not going to let the coaches off the hook either. Ain't no damn way Lane Kiffin should be able to leave
Nope.
at the end of the season.
Nope.
It ain't no damn way. You under contract.
And you
Come
leave,
on.
and they right before the playoffs, man. That he did them kids wrong, dude.
Yeah.
He did them wrong.
Yeah.
And didn't they just pay him some money because they won that playoff game against Georgia?
Let's see. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, come on, man. You still getting money because they played a game that you didn't even coach in.
Yeah. I mean, so if we're going to hold the kids accountable, the damn coaches need to be held accountable too. You can't just hold one and don't hold the other. These coaches need to honor their contract to the end of the year. I'm not hearing nothing that they were talking about because of the cycle. He had to leave because of how the cycle was and all this bull crap. You just can't have it both ways.
I think that's ESPN propping up certain teams too, just because they can market them a lot better too.
Right.
That's what I think. But I ain't gonna be on ESPN, so hell with it. ESPN is managing a lot of these moves, you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I don't even understand how, and they did it, a couple of coaches then did it, and they need to rein that in too. So I think we put a lot of onus and focus on the players, but of course, like I say, these coaches need to be held to a same account. They shouldn't be part of all these buyouts in the mid-season and all of that stuff, because ultimately, if you telling the kids it's about the university, damn it should be about the university for the coaches too.
Yeah,
they the ones sit up here and talk about how much they love a school when they come there, and then they walk their funky ass out the door midway through the season.
Telling the parents they gonna take care of their kids and then get them there, and then they gone.
Right. And again, I ain't bad that you're trying to get your money. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, when coaches talking about, oh, this is my dream job, and then he get the job, and then 3 years later he up and gone. Now,
that's his dream job.
Right. Right. Now, I mean, you could get fired like Brian Kelly. I think LSU was his dream job when he left Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But hey, you got to produce too, And he, like in that situation, can't be mad at Brian Kelly because y'all had to pay the man, y'all fired him. Y'all wanted him gone. But when you just get up and
with James Franklin.
Yeah. Can't be mad at him. You pay the man, you want to go a different direction. I still think that a lot of times it's like, even with the James Franklin situation, I think a lot of media pressure. I think they should have rolled it out to the end of the season, made a move.
Me too.
That's just my personal opinion. You ride it out to the end of the season, you make the move. I think it's a lot of pressure that's going on, a lot of money going on in college football now, and it's making these ADs and them make decisions that they normally wouldn't make. That's it's the loyalty, the money that came in and just corrupted so much that it's so much of like an NFL business. If you come out, say for instance, all these coaches that's in the college playoffs right now, the last four standing, let one of them come out and have a bad year next year, and I guarantee you this chat and any other team's chat is going to be totally different. That none of these coaches going to get the respect. We're going to find all negative stuff to say about these coaches, and they'll be calling for them to be fired. They'll forget about it. So, and I'm not even saying they're wrong. I'm just saying how high pressured it is now to where, a coach going to have a bad year here and there. We know that. But you know what? He vested in this school. Is more than football. He's graduating players. He's in the community doing work. All those things used to be a factor. Not so much anymore. Not to the national media. I think the local guys in the community still respect it, but when you look at teams nationally, it's a whole different ball game.
To me, it seems like once ESPN get their claws in it, that coach is done. That's what happened to James Franklin. I mean, he lost to UCLA, but once ESPN got their claws in it, I knew he was, and that's my team. And I hated to see him go. I almost jumped ship. It was that bad, man. It was.
Hey, I was
I think
shocked he was fired.
yeah, I mean, you got to try to change coordinators. It ain't the head coach; it's the coordinators. You put the right coordinators in there.
Hey, look, it's the same thing that they said about Mario, and then Mario fired Lance Guthrie because that defense was just atrocious. And you know, you the head of the ship. You know what you got to do. Hey, if we bad on this side of the ball, some heads got to roll. We got to get in the talent that we need, the coaching talent. But again, the AD and them got to spend the money. You can't. Ohio State didn't get Chip Kelly cheap last year.
Yeah, no.
You don't get, as bad as we want to talk about Chip Kelly, he is a brilliant offensive mind. You know, so a lot of people don't agree with that, but he a bad head coach, great offensive mind. Some guys like that, you know, not great coaches, good at what they do defensively, offensively, you know. So, you know, it's the hand in hand thing that goes on with these schools. And I was so happy to see Mario, and I just want to be careful how I phrase this because when I look at Guthrie last year, Lance last year, I think he didn't have the horses to do a lot. They missed a lot of tackles on defense and stuff, and some of the guys wasn't put in good situations. But ultimately, it was him. You still had Bain, even though he was hurt last year. You still had some pieces. You know what I'm saying, that you shouldn't have been as bad as you was last year on defense, and they were bad. So ultimately, you went out, you found Heatherman, and you seen what one good coordinator can do for a whole team. You know, if you find these coordinators out there, they can make your job a lot easier. You know, and the universities have to be willing to spend that money for you to get these coordinators. You know, but you got to give them return on investment too.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, that's just like James Franklin last year took us to the Big Ten championship, took us to the semifinals of the playoffs, and just because he had his first 3-4 games was bad, they got rid of the guy and now they bringing in somebody from the Big Ten.
Yeah,
I mean the Big 12.
Yeah, Arizona. Iowa's coach. Yeah, Iowa State coach. Yeah. But that goes to the point that I just made. Yeah. I said, what happened if you get in the playoffs and then you come out the next year and you have a bad season? They calling for your head.
Yep.
It doesn't matter anymore. It used to matter in the I hate to say the older days because I know it's a lot of young people that watch the show, but the loyalty. And it has nothing to do with being young and being old. It has everything to do with money. Money puts pressure on things. And you have like a lot of these, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like, these firms, big firms that own corporations that's in the sports, kind of like the Lakers when they sold out, equity firms and stuff that get into sports. And now they look at it from a family aspect they look at it as a business aspect. Look, it costs us $4 million to get Carson back. Look, we need to at least make that $4 million. He need to get us to the playoffs in that first round and get that $4 million back. If not, it's a waste. You know, that's the way they look at it now. You know what I'm saying? Good. Now you got the 14 mil. Hey, we up on our investment. You know, so all the money they paid, they're up. You know, now making it to there. That's the way they look at it. If they invested in your school, you know, so you can't, if you're not giving them return on the investment, then they're not going to invest any money, you know. So it's just an interesting dynamic. We're going to wrap this up with this before we get up out of here. So we already said Ole Miss, Miami. Ole Miss, Miami. I'm thinking low scoring game. And I'm still going to go Miami 24. I'm going to say 20-17. Miami.
I'm going to say Miami 17-13.
17-13. We both under 20 points. Okay. Ole Miss and Oregon. I mean, not Ole Miss. I'm sorry. Indiana and Oregon. Hmm. I'm already on record saying I was taking sorry as Oregon. Y'all know I'm joking with y'all out there, Oregon fans. I'm taking Oregon. I'm going to say another close game, 24-21.
I got
Oregon.
Indiana 31-21. Told you about 10.
Oh,
It's going to be about 10. 31-21, Indiana.
All right, guys, you guys out there, man, we appreciate y'all tapping in with us today, man. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button for us and share this content. Me and Bigger the E will be back. I think we might be on tomorrow, and we're gonna tap in too about the Hurricanes and Ole Miss game exclusively here on Zone in Sports. Until then, you're rocking with y'all, rocking with me, rocking with y'all. We out.
Peace.